Hey, what's up, y'all? So I want to tell you about this meeting we have coming up this Saturday at 10:30 a.m. PST. And you can attend here in person at SuperHuman Transformation Headquarters at the CrossFit Combine, or you can attend virtually through Crowdcast. We'll be streaming it. All right, we've had some really good participation in our previous meetings. Now, this meeting is all about elimination diets and learning how to self-test. All right, we'll talk a little bit about what that is, but as we are all on our personal holistic health journeys, we talk a lot about mastering real food. And once you understand what the rules are as far as what's in and what's out and how to structure your macros, then the name of the game is just constantly experimenting, constantly tinkering. You should always be going without a specific food or a specific food group to see how it makes you feel going without it, and to see how it feels to reintroduce it to the body after you've been void of it for a little bit. Because a lot of times you're numb to some signals that the body's trying to give you, and when you clean yourself of this potentially problematic food or nutrient or food group, then your body has a chance to respond and tell you what's going on. So we always recommend that people are constantly experimenting and tinkering. And so the reason that you might want to consider an elimination diet, or just consider coming to this meeting, is if you have stubborn symptoms, things like digestive issues, skin issues, autoimmune symptoms, body composition changes that won't happen for you, energy levels, poor sleep patterns, basically any symptom that you're feeling that you feel like is off in the context of you doing what you think is right would be a reason to do an elimination diet and learn how to self-test, right? Now, also, we want to learn what those suspect real foods are. So within this realm of real food, we have our basic guidelines, our basic definition of what's in and what's out. But within that realm of real food, there are things that we know that tend to mess with people more than others. And so that's the place that we start, is these suspect real foods. We had someone ask the other day, like, what about doing an elimination diet for bread and processed food? And we're like, well, those are already supposed to be out anyway. We should be doing a permanent elimination diet for processed food. But within the real food realm, there's still some things that people just don't do well on. And we hear about those things: full fat dairy, nightshades, tomatoes, nuts and seeds. And so those are the things that we want to learn about. Another reason that we would want to do an elimination diet and learn how to self-test is because we want to prove to ourselves that we can go without something. We have a motto, and that is, if you feel like there's something you can't go without, then you must go without it. Because one of the things that we want to experience with this real food way of eating in a modern lifestyle is a sense of freedom, a sense of not being controlled by anything. And although we may not like going without something, we want to master going without it so that we have this sense of freedom, knowing that if we had to, we could go without it. All right. And then as we're doing this experiment, we're going to figure out what works for us. As we go through our holistic health journey, learning how to eat real food, going without, learning how to self-test, you start to fine-tune your own personal real food way of eating. All right. So, and then it's also a great way to get in touch with your body. So we teach some self-testing protocols, some things that help you get in touch with your body as far as what symptoms to look for and some other signals that your body might give you. And it's a really great way to hone some self-awareness. All right. So at this meeting, we're going to talk about our 5-step process for eliminating and self-testing. We'll talk about the specific foods that you want to consider, and we actually have a progression and a checklist that you can go through. And by the way, this is also serving as our third meeting in our flexible animal-based omnivore progression, which is our version of a carnivore diet experiment. And the ultimate elimination diet is a animal-based way of eating, or a carnivore diet, because then you're pulling out all plants and you're pulling out all full-fat dairy, and there's pretty much nothing left as far as problematic things to consider. All right. So, but the focus of this meeting is elimination diets and self-testing. We'll spend very little time on the flexible animal-based omnivore, because part of the flexible animal-based omnivore is learning how to reintroduce foods and self-test. So that's why that's a big component of this progression. So now, again, to attend in person, you're going to RSVP through Eventbrite. We'll give you a link for that. The meeting, again, is this Saturday, July 18th at 10:30 a.m. PST. And if you want to attend virtually, we'll give you a link for Crowdcast, and it's going to be streamed at the same time. All right. We will have a recorded video of the meeting, and we will email out handouts to anyone that RSVPs. And by the way, the handouts are freaking top notch. All right. We covered these last year. We've slightly improved them a little bit. These handouts take you through a recommended progression using those 5 steps that we just mentioned. We also also have a little worksheet where you can acknowledge symptoms and acknowledge what it is that you're testing, and then acknowledge what it is that you noticed when you went up without that food, and then also your testing results. All right, and then we also have little FAQs and tips and hints and strategies and stuff. Now, remember why we're doing all this. All right, we have in our community what we call a big purpose, and our big purpose is to pull together people that for most of their lives have been lost and confused when it comes to health, and now they're looking for clarity and confidence. We facilitate that with education and experience and experiments like what we're doing with this class and this entire progression. And then we support each other throughout the entire process because we know how important it is to have the support of other people going through something similar. And we're doing this because we want to be happy, we want to be healthy, we want to look, feel, and perform our best, and we know that your best life awaits you when you find health, because when you find health, you find yourself. Now, the way that we do this is we have monthly themes. So this month we're in Flexible Animal-Based Omnivore Month, even though this meeting specifically is about elimination diets and self-testing. Next month we're going to be talking about outdoors, grounding, hiking, camping, and being outdoors 101. And then in September, we're going to talk about how to be a smart vegan. All right, so within these monthly themes, we always have a weekly seminar. The weekly seminars are always made public. If you're a Combine member or an SHT member, those seminars are always going to be free. But if not, you can always join no matter what. And if you're in our little community, which is freaking amazing, we have daily questions and polls and things to keep us engaged and talking to each other, and those are really exciting and awesome. And so we hope to see you in this community if you're not a part of it. So again, we look forward to seeing you at this meeting coming up 10:30 a.m. on Saturday, in person or virtually. We'll give you the links, and let us know if you have any questions. All right, we'll talk to y'all soon.